I am the Director of User Research at WellFund, but more importantly for today, I am also the father of an incredible 4-year-old who inspires me every day to be a better researcher. She's here today with my wife, and I want to share with you how through her and observing her, I've realized that we should probably all strive for a child's mindset to be better researchers. But of course, many of us here, researchers, so I have to start with a super scientific survey. Are you ready? Raise your hands and keep them up if you're a parent. Amazing. Hey, all parents. If you have any nieces or nephews, keep them up, by the way, keep them up. If you have friends or family with young children. And finally, raise your hand if in the past you were a child. Amazing. And so we begin this short 25-minute journey with a super scientific fact. We all have a relationship to children, whether it's because we're parents, uncles or aunts, because we have friends who are parents, or just because we were all, let's face it, a long time ago, children ourselves. But that relationship to children and childhood tends to be very one-directional, very one-sided. If you search later on today for terms like kids or children and teaching or learning, you will find mostly results around what we as adults can teach children, such as media literacy or speaking a different language or how not to be a bystander, but nothing that goes the other way around. Now, don't get me wrong, as a parent, I am so grateful for all of these articles because there is no guide for parenting, and unfortunately there is no license for parenting either, and I could certainly use some guides and perhaps a license. But doesn't it make you wonder, who should we all strive to be like? Who should we look up to as researchers, designers, product people? Who do you strive to be like when you consider your career, your aspirations, and what makes a bloody good researcher, designer, or product manager? I've spent my entire career so far constantly searching for inspiration. But it was only when I had a child that I realized I was blind to an entire community of experimenters, talented and curious minds who will dig anywhere for insights. A community who's not afraid to push forward towards the unknown, even if it hits them straight in the face. So if you're searching for more inspiration today, and communities beyond those which you've already acquainted yourself with, I suggest today is the day we can begin to do something incredible and look up to children rather than only down at them. I literally couldn't find a picture of an adult looking up at a child. It's a real tragedy. But that leaves us with an open question. Where do we look, and what exactly are we looking for? I have many conversations with early career researchers or students, and I typically get asked about the latest research method or framework, tools for surveys or statistical analysis, the technicalities of our practice. And people ask me for links to books or Medium posts or podcasts that could help. So I'll tell you what. This is part of my personal Kindle UXR collection. I've purchased and read every single one of these books, and they are all excellent. And I thank the authors for writing them. I learned something from each and every one of these books. But if you're striving to become truly great researchers, is this enough? Perhaps what differentiates the best researchers from others has less to do with the practice of research and maybe more to do with the mindset of a researcher. And so what does this all mean? Well, it means that perhaps, paradoxically, to mature as a practice, maybe we need to be more childlike. Maybe we need to strive to think more like children. Maybe we need to broaden our horizons and focus on approach and mindset just as much as our practice. Maybe we need to remember that there aren't just lessons here for us, but maybe there are also lessons here, and here, and here. And I even have this book right here. I'm willing to loan it for a couple of minutes to anyone who's interested. There are incredible lessons for researchers here. For example, how to say no. Does anyone here feel like sometimes you don't know how to say no? This story is about saying no to a pigeon who wants to drive a bus. No, 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 no. Again and again, my daughter loves saying no to the pigeon. And there's even a meta-insight in this book, which is be intentional. Be intentional about your research. Be intentional about your career. No offense to pigeons, but don't let them drive the bus. Amazing, amazing book. So I have 5 hills I'm willing to die on today, 5 lessons you can apply right now that will help you think more like children and hopefully succeed more as researchers and designers. And I want to share this with you today. Let's start with lesson number 1. Keep your eyes on the prize. Say farewell to artificial constraints. Listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never-haves. Then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. I once taught a class at Airbnb, when I was working at Airbnb in an internal university for data science and research, and I taught the 5 whys. Anyone heard of the 5 whys here? It's a pretty self-explanatory process of a framework of approaching core problems, and in a nutshell, it's basically asking why and why again 5 times. Exactly, not 6 or 7, 5 times. Now, there comes an inevitable point when you're a parent where, usually in a very, very public place, like the toy aisle at Target, or the frozen food section at Trader Joe's where they have those delicious ice cream sandwiches, where your child will have a tantrum, and they will shout why and why and why again and again, relentlessly. And as your child commences to steal the toys she wants and destroy the entire store, you can't help but wonder, all these frameworks we have, like these 4 ethnographic research frameworks, are they sufficient? Are we focusing on the right thing here as researchers? Are we keeping our eye on the prize? Why 5 whys? Why not 7 or 12 or 1,000,000? What children have reminded me is that there are so many paths to understanding our users, and it's okay to try a few of them, or combine a bunch of them, to deviate from the accepted path. It's okay to truly be a mixed methods researcher, where you mix different frameworks, mix and match, or extend and shift from the common, somewhat random habits we have with the number 5, like the 5 whys, or the 5 user study, or the 5-minute introduction. It's okay. Because our goal is not to perfectly implement a framework, and our goal is not to ask the perfect number of questions. Our goal is to listen and observe and understand. That's our goal. Lesson number 2, find the method in the madness. Embrace the irrational. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, The Little Prince. Now, at this point, you must be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Be irrational as a researcher? Is that what you're advocating for? Well, let me share a super secret. We only have jobs because people are irrational, including ourselves. Everyone is irrational. Just like Ashton, who only likes cold dogs. Or Lexi, who loves pasta sauce, but only if you call it frosting. And my personal favorite, Luke, and his passion for untoasted toast. In Dan Ariely's book, Predictably Rational, he discusses how our Mr. Hyde too often takes over from Dr. Jekyll, such that the cool, responsible side of us succumbs to the impulsive, uncontrollable side. Now, as researchers, we train ourselves tirelessly to control our own Mr. Hyde and constantly discuss how to overcome our cognitive biases. The problem is, how can we truly understand people's predictable irrationalities if we're so disconnected from our own Mr. Hyde? The fact is, neither our participants or us researchers can overcome our cognitive biases. They are here to stay. But there is a method to the madness, and if we understand it and leverage that understanding, we can do better research. I have this annoyingly talented colleague. He is an engineer by day and a baker by night, and he makes incredible bread. And I was eating some of his bread, and I was thinking about this story, you might have heard of it, from William Sonoma, about this bread maker they were selling, and the sales were kind of slow. So they decided to introduce a deluxe bread maker, which was 50% more expensive. And lo and behold, suddenly the cheap bread maker sells like crazy. Now, this is a predictable irrationality. It's not something any of us could have really understood through traditional research methods. But without, without deep knowledge of these irrationalities, perhaps even empathy towards the ways in which we are all a bit mad, we can't succeed as researchers. And so we have to find the method in the madness and not focus just on overcoming bias in our practice, though that is incredibly important, but also focus on deeply studying the systematic, the predictable irrationalities that drive our behavior, and design for that and research for that. Lesson number 3, tell it like it is. A half-truth is a whole lie. Yiddish proverb, and also something my daughter learned very, very early on. You see, my colleague, Jessica Blankenship, published an article about things that kids say, like, if dad dies, will you get married again? Or, what is sex trafficking? And my favorite, does everybody's skin start to fall off like yours when they get old? Michael, 6, to his great-grandmother. For a child, there is nothing radical about radical candor. Nothing. You might have read the book, Radical Candor. It's a great book. For children, it's just another Friday. A former colleague of mine, Katria, wrote a wonderful article on how UX research is boring and nobody's reading it, and she gives templates and tips on how to make research more accessible and how to ensure teams absorb research. But here's the thing. It's not enough. It's just not enough. And the truth shall set you free! And the simple truth won't just set you free. It'll set your teams free to meet your users' crucial pain points and unmet needs. We have to be truthful. We have to kind of realize that perhaps we should focus a little less on our research plans and guides or crafting the perfectly worded presentation. Maybe we sometimes need to share the simple, raw, biting, often difficult experiences that our users go through and take it from there. Don't obscure your users' experiences from your teams. Tell it like it is. Lesson number 4, be a host. This is a tribute to my former Airbnb colleagues. It's one of Airbnb's values, which I deeply believe in myself. For a host, above all, must be kind to his guests, Dr. Seuss. You see, there's something special about children's tea parties. Has anyone been to a fake child's tea party? Aren't they great? Aren't they incredible? Somehow, even though you're surrounded by weird and wonderful imaginary friends, you're having tea and crumpets that don't exist on a fake plate that's actually empty, you feel at home. You feel comfortable. Children are marvelous tea party hosts. And I think that sometimes we explore what it means to be human, but we sometimes forget about the value of authenticity, comfort, and dare I say, the occasional silliness. At times, there's this level of superficiality to adults, right? This veneer of seriousness that we feel we have to keep at all times. A certain distance, perhaps. Kids, on the other hand, are marvelously authentic, and they have the darndest ways of establishing comfort. At Wellfront, I've learned from colleagues like Vijay, who's here in the crowd today, all about how to establish that comfort. I'd like to try something with a few volunteers from the front rows. I need 5 people to join me here in the front of the stage. Can we do this? Yeah, you can do this. Let's go. 5 people join me. We're going to have some fun. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to do this. 3 more people. Yes. Thank you so much. You will each get a pen and a Post-it. Okay, you ready? Post-it, pen. Okay. Just be a minute here, don't worry. Okay. Post-it.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Sorry for moving so much on the stage, videographer. Really sorry, really sorry. Okay, and I'm going to stand here to your left. Here's what we're going to do. You ready? We have 30 seconds, just 30 seconds, to sketch the person to your left. You sketch me, I'm sketching you. Are you ready? 30 seconds, go. People always apologize to each other when this exercise starts. Pen won't work. Try this one.
Oh my God, my pen won't work either.
Oh no, pen's not working. Try your best. Sometimes pens don't work. 10 seconds. 10, 9, no pressure. This is absolutely horrible, I'm so sorry. 8, 5, random number. 3, 2, 1, and pens off. Hands up. We're done. Now, here's the best part. Pass your incredible artistry to the person you drew, and you can keep your Post-it forever. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So sorry. I'm gonna... Thank you. You can go back now. Thank you so much. Can we all feel comfortable with each other now? Yeah. Where'd I put my... Oh, amazing. And thank you, Vijay, for teaching me this technique. So the lesson here for us is be a host. Children build instant rapport and a sense of comfort with their authenticity and their vulnerability. I haven't even looked at my amazing. If we can do the same with our research participants, imagine what we can achieve. Infinitely better research. Have so much fun in the process. And finally, lesson number 5. Believe in magic. And above all, watch with glittering eyes the whole world around you. Because the greatest secrets are always hidden in the most unlikely places. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Roald Dahl. For many, many years now, Disney has created magical experiences, incredible experiences that have delighted huge audiences all over the world. I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about the new Aladdin and Lion King movies. And if you come visit me in Silicon Valley, I recommend you go to the Disney Museum. These original Mickey Mouse clips are so basic compared to today's animations, but there's something so delightful about them. It's an achievement which is hard to comprehend, and Mickey has delighted countless generations, including my daughter. Disney and Mickey Mouse remind me that we can and we should delight people. And our work is not done until we provide a magical experience. But to do so, the first step is to believe in it, to believe in magic. For me, the most magical experience I had was when I took my daughter Ellie to an aquarium for the first time. And I saw her look at a fish, a real fish, for the first time. And suddenly, just years of cynicism and a growing sense of negativity all washed away. And I was reminded of all the special and remarkable and inspiring things that this world has to offer. At Wealthfront, we believe a product isn't finished until it delights. And so we look for that awe, that surprise, the squeals of delight from a user who's reminded for just a moment that there can be magic in any experience if you strive to create it and if you believe it's possible. And so if we put our cynicism aside and leave our negative worldviews behind and reconnect to that inner child, we'll be able to research, design, and create magical and delightful experiences. You just have to believe. I want to thank 2 special ladies who are in the crowd today, my wife and partner, Carmel, and my 4-year-old and incredible daughter, who reminds me every day and inspires me every day to be a better researcher and a better person. Thank you so much.